What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, host of the Philly Tall podcast, but we are back with Battle Birds podcast, the pregame show where you gotta be. I guess we copy because the Eagles do pregame shows too, so I'm copying again. Anyways, Fresh Gate, we're coming off our first lost. We got to respond for the people, and so do the Eagles. How y'all feel about that?
Uh, feel about taking a loss? Not very good, bro.
Response.
It wasn't my favorite. It wasn't my favorite thing, sir. I feel like they're going to respond today, Mike. I do. I really do. I got confidence that they're going to come out and we're going to see some fight in the run game. I feel like what can be taken away from the run game is that the run game more than anything is about effort. It's about committing yourself to doing the dirty work. And I think when a team really, back-to-back teams caught you with it, but you really got caught with an L this past week with it, I think you got no choice but to sack up and play the run.
Yo, that man, you know what it is. You know what it is, man. Your boy Philly Fresh, aka the General. Appreciate all y'all being here. I'm just gonna say this, man. The Eagles are 8-1. I think I'm the lucky charm, man. It's the only one game that I did not get to watch. I was in the air. I was on a plane. Had a hell of a week. Man. It was crazy. Other than the Eagles losing, to me, you got yourself a situation to where as though, yes, you got to find a way to stop the run game. But there's other things that also need to be addressed too. Once again, don't need to see Kayvon Wallace out there. How about you find more packages, more 4-3s to get our third round pick, Nakobe Dean. Some, give him some time. Like, see what he can do. He can't be that. He can't be worse than Kayvon Wallace. And yes, Howie Roseman does it again. Now, these are not eye-popping things, but he sees something that needs to be fixed, and he gives Jonathan Gannon the hammer and the nail. Now, we're going to see what Jonathan Gannon does with these tools, because Howie is giving them everything. Now, Jonathan Gannon got to deliver, y'all.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think, if the organization is going to hit us with the response, the players definitely got to hit us with the response. I think all three levels are on the same page, players, coaches, and front office members, to go out there and get 2D tackles one after another. Then to hear the guys in the locker room, coaches and players talk about, the 17-0 talk is done, but we have to put the work in to continue doing what we're doing. I think that this game has to show, what the Eagles are going to be going forward. Again, football takes a little bit to get going, but the 8 weeks we saw was something, for the simple fact we won different ways. We beat the second best team in the NFC. We scored points on the Dallas defense before they got, blown up the last couple of days. This Eagles team put some good wins together. I don't care what nobody says. And now we got to build off this loss. And again, I think it was uncharacteristics of the Eagles that got us the loss. But as y'all both mentioned, Jonathan Taylor has to be Gannon, this defense number one focus. Every team, until proven otherwise, is going to come out with that, run the ball, play action, take little chunks of yards in the passing game. Nobody's beating us over the top, really, because we're not allowing them to, but we're getting this dissected down the field in little play action touches to the running back, tight end, and wide receivers. So the Eagles got to show that we're done allowing it, and it starts with Gannon. How many 5-2 fronts we going to see again, Gate?
I think you're going to see quite a bit. I mean, I don't know if it'll be 5-2, but you're going to see a 5-man front on this. I'll say that the issues I saw, Mike, was it looks like a lot of man control is what they play. And the easiest way to explain man control, if y'all were watching Twitter, you probably saw Ali and I kind of going back and forth talking about the different alignments you play on the D line. So when you play man control, it's like you're basically taking your man through the two gaps that are on your assignment. This is generally speaking, it's done when you're in a 0 or a 2 or a 6, one of those type of alignments where your head's up on your opponent. I'll say that my opinion, Mike, is I like Marlon Tuipulotu a lot. You know that Jalen and I have an ongoing bet between us about Marlon Tuipulotu's future with the Eagles. It's lasted 2 years now. I'm hoping I get a third year to try to prove it right against Jalen. With that said, man, I don't think that Marlon Tuipulotu was able to anchor the line in a man control assignment, controlling that A gap. And man, I think we started springing some pretty big time leaks in the run game. Now, the crazy thing is that we didn't get beat with any chunk plays per se last week, right? But the problem was you lost too many times on runs of over 4 yards on first down. You didn't generate any negative plays. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that you didn't have a Jordan Davis at that zero technique. You didn't have a Linval Joseph who's coming in. I guess the real question is, Mike, Reese, how many snaps is Linval Joseph going to be out there? Can we get the type of impact we need on 20 plays from him, week one? Well, not week one, but his first week inside of the system.
To me, I think you're going to see him in mostly first downs. Short yardage, probably third and ones, and if the case may be, fourth and ones and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure how healthy, I'm not healthy, but how in shape he is. He has been sitting on the couch since last year. I would love to see it just when you look at it. I mean, he's almost 30 pounds over Fletcher Cox, who was the heaviest man after Jordan Davis went out. I mean, but you look at it, Joseph is 330, right? And a big man. Jordan Davis is 360.
Crazy.
A bigger man. Like, that's a big boy, man. That's a big boy. And you could tell we miss him, obviously. But yeah, you're gonna have to find a way to implement him. And you're saying his name wrong. It's Tuipulotu.
Better.
No, but in all seriousness, I didn't get to actually watch the game. I did do some film breakdown. It's weird doing film breakdown when you actually didn't watch the game. But I'm not gonna lie, he definitely didn't anchor. He was getting bullied in there from the tape that I've seen. It wasn't nice. So yeah, you to me, when you have a Hargrave or Fletcher Cox, you just need somebody to anchor the A gap and let everybody else eat. Just make the running back have to make a decision to go another way and not just that A gap hole just be open. You have the guys to rally around everybody, every other gap, should I say. But if that A gap is open, we're in trouble. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to lie. I think Joseph is a guy that can stymie the A gap a little enough for them to say, you know what? Let's try to go on the outside. We can't just gash him and run it for 40 times. But you also know what else will help is if those guys got to play catch up. If we get an early lead, you know what I mean, coast it all the way through and don't turn the freaking ball over. Mm-hmm. That performance. I don't know what that was on Monday. I don't know what that was. Even though I'm not blaming Jalen Hurts for throwing the interception to AJ because he does that all the time, and most of the time AJ comes down with the football.
And it was a beautiful throw.
Yeah. Once again, I am not going to get on a guy who does one thing and then is successful, but when he does it and then it's not successful, I get on him. No. He took a chance, got an interception. I understand it. But Quez Watkins, what the hell was that? Like, are you kidding me? And then refs, I'm not blaming this on the refs. I hate it. But that is clear, the most clearest face mask that hasn't been caught I ever seen in my life. Like he literally was dragging his face mask down for about 5 yards, and the man got hurt. Now I don't know if that man got a fine or whatever. He did get a fine.
Jamin Davis got a fine. Referees walking away clean.
That's what I'm saying. They need a fine too. That's what I'm saying. But at the end of the day, that Quez Watkins one, man, that one hurt. And
broke
then
my heart.
Not gonna lie, y'all. I said this in my video. I only made one video this week because I was on vacation. Sorry about that. But content will be continually coming out. Brandon Graham. Here's the thing. Don't like it, but it is the right call. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. But if it was the other team and it was Jalen Hurts taking the knee, it's corny. First of all, it's corny as hell. It's smart, but it's corny as hell that Heineke did some corny stuff like that. But it worked. It worked. He tricked the guys, whatever the case may be. Hey, man, it just hurt that you got to go out like that. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Because we could have had the ball back with 1:40, bro.
And you would have finally get to see Jalen Hurts. Yo, listen, if Jalen Hurts would have took it down and won that game, man, it solidifies what we've been saying just basically this whole year. You know what I mean? But he didn't get a chance to do it. I mean, he really almost did it, but Quez Watkins fumbled. You know what I mean? So it's like, damn, like it just wasn't the Eagles' day. Obviously, it wasn't their day, man. Because even though we lost, but it wasn't no blowout or none of that. And you had to come back or whatever the case may be. But a loss is a loss. It's like a win is a win, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took a lot of things to create the loss. I mean, I don't know that all those things would be replicatable on a week-to-week basis for a team to come up with that kind of recipe to win the game. And to be honest with you, I think you mentioned it to me, which I thought was the turning point of the game. I know other people have pointed to other things, but to me, when A.J. Brown, and I know that catch was hard to make, but it was a really well-placed football. And I get that the defensive back crossed his face and then he kind of lost sight of where the ball was. I get that. But it's like, man, if you secure that catch, we're going up on you 21-10. I think it changes the outlook of the game for the rest of that game.
Right.
That to me was the turning point because that was them coming up with the play to stop that momentum from happening. Because it was about to be the same recipe that's gotten every other team beat. It was about to be replicated again. And sometimes you just got to give it you got to give it to the opposition, man. On the road, they came up with the play they had to make. You have to make that play or it's over.
And I agree 100%, Gate. And then not only did they stop the play to get us, stop the play that would have had us the momentum, us a big lead, and us doing what we've been doing, it also was the start of us not seeing the ball much for the next 2 quarters.
We started playing too loose with the football. Like I love Quez, and I get Quez trying to get up and trying to make a play. I get it, but you got reckless with the ball.
You see the new Quez drill?
Even Dallas, that was a clear face mask, should have been called, all that, agree with it. Dallas was still reckless with the ball tight into a formation like that. Bro, you got to secure the ball better than that. You just do. Like, we got reckless with the football.
I get that, but I think he loosened up after the guy was pulling on his face.
Yeah, it's got to get called. But
no, I'm not even saying that. What I'm saying is his leg was already getting pulled the way he was going down. He got hurt because of the face mask. So whatever happened in that junction right there, I think his leg was already getting hurt, and it's just like and then he let go of the ball. I get what you're saying. You definitely need ball security, and yes, Mike, I did see it. I'll put it in my last video, but you need that. Shout out to the coaches for doing it. It's as embarrassing as it might look. But this is what you need. You need to have those kind of drills, so you got to secure the ball. This is a team. Last week we had more turnovers than we did all year. You know what I mean? All year. And think about that. That's going into week. What is it? What was that? Week 9 last week. Going into week 9.
Week 10.
Really week 10. Yeah, week 10. Going into week 10, you had a situation to where as though you only had 3 turnovers. You know what I mean? And then you come out here and you give up 3 turnovers. Yeah, it was
4 really because of the Smitty fumble at the end.
You know what really hurts about this game, Mike? Do you remember my score prediction and what I said? I said 31-20 Philly and 32-21 Washington. And you remember I said these fateful words that I wish I could take back now. I said, if you turn the ball over against Philly, we're going to hang 30 on you. I predicted a lot right. I just predicted the wrong team.
Wrong team.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is, in the off season, I did say that the Eagles will split with the Commanders. I had us losing. I expected the Eagles to be great, but not as 8-0 dominant as we were. Because I think every team has a slip up. You've seen it with the Chiefs. You've seen it with every team this year. You've seen it with multiple teams last year. but I had it splitting with the Commanders. Did I think we were going to lose that game now? No, I had changed my opinion to us sweeping them. But again, the division is always going to be the division. It's better than a lot of divisions now, and they got one on us. But let's turn our attention to the Colts. They had one of their best games against the Raiders. Now the Raiders are the Raiders. But how do you feel about Jeff Saturday? They still got Stephon Gilmore. Matt Ryan is now back. Again, if you look at this Colts team and all the losses they took throughout this season, you'll say some of the losses were not with Matt Ryan. All of the losses were not with Jeff Saturday. And a lot of the losses were not with Jonathan Taylor. So Matt Ryan is back. Jonathan Taylor is back. They got a new coach. This is a new team. You can look at that Raiders game and say, well, the Raiders are the Raiders. That's why they won. But this still is a team that guys are going to be fighting for their job next year. The coach is going to be coaching for a job next year. And new energy is still new energy. Before y'all give y'all take on that, Joseph Tice with the $10 super chat. We appreciate y'all. He said, fly Eagles fly, let's go birds. We are shutting down Taylor. And although it's going to hurt my fantasy, I care about the Eagles a lot more. I got Taylor in my fantasy. And I'm going against I'm not against Fresh in that one. I don't know, but I'm playing Fresh in one of our leagues. So
I think it's your draw. Yeah, I think it's your draw.
But go ahead. How do y'all feel about just the Colts? You know, coming off a high victory, got their running back back, quarterbacks back. They still got Gilmore, and they got a new energy with the coach. How do y'all feel about that?
I mean, me personally, Mike, I do think that while they got some guys healthy, they're also pretty beat up coming into this game. Look, I'm not a big believer in Jeff Saturday. I think he just called a terrible Raiders team personally. And to be honest, man, I don't think that it's as easy to adjust your scheme to a new play caller in the middle of the season like they just had to do. I think they're going to be very basic on offense. And I think as long as, like I said, you got to sack up and stop the run, because what's the easiest way to mitigate this is to run the ball at you, make you force us stop the run. Let's draw the clock out. Let's make this a long, extended game, because all we're going to do is try to keep your defense on the field as long as possible, because the last thing that they want is a 30-plus point game, because they're not going to hang in there. So, I mean, to me, I think you're dealing with a lot of the same circumstances that you just played last week, except for I'll say that I think that for face value of the teams coming in here, I thought Washington had a better roster than what I see in Indianapolis. Indianapolis has got guys that can hurt you, man. Michael Pittman Jr. is a ball player. Jonathan Taylor's a ball player. Matt Ryan's an above average quarterback. I'm going to call him that. It's above average range. He hasn't been particularly good off of play action this year, though. So you're going off of like, okay, you got a veteran quarterback. He's got plenty of years playing play action, but he hasn't had the productivity off of it this year. So how do you place that in terms of, is this a game to where maybe the opportunity meets it? You know what I mean? Like it's one of those situations to me. I honestly think that if you can shut the running game down here and force them into actually having to throw the ball and actually have to test a rookie coordinator at this point, because this was their assistant quarterback coach just a couple of weeks ago. I think you got a pretty good shot of blowing this game out.
I kind of feel the same way. When you look at it, yes, they had talented players, but once again, we have more talent. Thought we had more talent last week, but once again, you shot yourself in the foot with the turnovers. If you play a steady game, you keep the ball off the turf, and you get turnovers, it should be a landslide. Not trying to be cocky, whatever the case may be, but first of all, we kind of own Matt Ryan. We owned him since 2017, for real. When you look at it, a different jersey, same player than me. Not gonna lie, yes, you got to shut down a run, and this is the most concerning thing to me. And Jonathan Gannon is, once again, he's scaring me again. You look at these names on his defense. I'm talking about all four. I'm talking about you got a guy who just won a national championship. Has not even played a defensive snap. And you got all this talent, man. Like, if you just look at the names, you're never going to have this much talent again. You're never going to have this much talent again, because you're not going to be able to sign everybody back. But that's another statement for another day. I say that to say this. We need to take advantage of these guys. when I'm looking at the highlights, I'm asking myself, why the hell is Darius Slay getting burnt by McLaurin like this? What is going on? And then I look at the tape, and you got him in because the actual highlights don't show exactly what happened, but you got this guy in what, cover 2? Like what are you doing?
They played a weird concept, Reese, and I don't even understand how to explain it exactly. I mean, I would love to actually ask Jonathan Taylor what the hell he was doing, but he put him in a trail technique. He put him in a trail technique like he's playing man coverage, but he was inside of a zone.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what the hell?
I don't get it. I don't get what they were trying to actually. I don't get what they were trying to execute there.
And
you know it's a problem. You know it's a problem when Gate want to. Gate's like, I really would love to ask Jonathan Gannon this question.
Yeah, like, and then you do that to the fastest player on the field. Like, Scary Terry is the reason that they're calling that. The dude got speed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? Like, so to me, man, if a lot of people saying Super Bowl or bust, and this is really kind of off the rails where I'm going here. But to me, man, our biggest weak link is Jonathan Gannon, man. Because you have the talent on the defense. It's just the scheme. The scheme, I don't know what the hell you're doing sometimes. I don't. Go old school. Let these guys, if you feel as though Darius Slay needs to travel, let him travel. But let these guys play one-on-one. Let CJ Gardner be a ball hawk that he is, and let Marcus Epps control the backfield. I don't understand what it like. It's not that hard. It's not that this dude. It's frustrating because it's like, dude, you got all this freaking talent. Schwartz would have loved to have all this right here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Are you kidding me? Like, he got to figure it out. He has to figure it out. I understand just 2 years ago, you was a D-back coach. I get it. I understand it. But, dude, this is your second year. And everybody has improved except for you.
Yeah.
Shane Steichen, Jalen Hurts, all the guys that we was looking at.
I got a feeling Steichen's going to be a head coach after this year.
You said what?
I got a feeling Steichen's going to be a head coach after this year.
Yeah, we're going to lose one of them.
Yeah. Hopefully
it's the other one. And Brian Johnson. I think there's a chance both of them are gone.
Yo, he's doing a hell of a job, man.
Well,
Shane is doing a hell of a job. But that's what
I can't even be mad at him, man, because I want him to succeed. But it's like,
Yeah.
like this is such a good coaching staff offensively. Like, I really hate to lose any pieces.
I felt like that in 2017. I'm like, I didn't want to lose Frank Reich. You know what I mean? But it is what it is.
Well, Frank might make a return if we end up losing some members of our coaching staff. But to your point, man, the Gannon thing is just wild, right? Like, you got caught twice last game with 10 men on the field, and I understand that the position coach could have been the reason, but after it happens the first time, you have a coach, you have a talk with your staff, regardless of whose fault it is. It's under your tutelage and overseeing. So it goes on Gannon twice. I would like to know. I still haven't really watched exactly when they were, but was it on third down?
Yeah, I was about to ask you that. When was did they score or what y'all know?
No, I wanted to see. I don't know if you know Gates, but I didn't go back and look at it fully. It's been a busy week for me with the family getting ready for Thanksgiving because we're going to Virginia.
His face, he's zoned in. He's not even listening to us right now.
I what player are you referring to?
Do you know what the plays were for the two times we had only 10 guys on the field?
No, I don't. I was kind of shocked to learn that.
Yeah,
I was kind of shocked to learn that. Yeah, like, why would you admit that? Just keep that shit quiet. Like, don't admit that. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, that's what I'm like. I'm like, bro, 2 times, and he just
no, I didn't see him yet. I'm gonna find him. You know, I'm gonna find him.
I would be upset.
He the one that said something. It wasn't like the media or anything.
The media said it, and then he did try to brush it off. He was just like, it's my fault. Pretty much he said, my fault, next question.
Like, man, like, you just like, bro, you just like, yo, man, we got caught in a substitution change. Like, don't say, like, don't come out and be like, yo, it's my fault that we're playing with 10 men on the field more than one time. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Like, you can't, like, that. You remember back in 2018, the whole Groh. I always thought Groh got a bad rap in Philadelphia. I always thought Groh was a better coach than people thought.
Wide receiver coach, I thought he was good.
Yeah, you just cannot come out and say, I don't know how to use this guy.
Right.
You can't say that. You cannot say that.
He said that about Matt Hollins?
No, it was old dude we traded from Detroit, Golden Tate or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
He said he didn't know how to use them. Like, you can't say that. Like,
yeah, it's ridiculous. But to see Jonathan Gannon do this, and look, there's Asante Samuels has a podcast called The Art of Interception, and he had Darius Slay on it this week talking about the loss, the respond, and multiple times in this, Slay's not taking a shot at Gannon because he loves what this team is doing. He's all in. He was talking about how much he loves Philly fans and all that. Guess what, guys? I'm gonna put it on the shorts tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. Slay talking about Philly fans on the Asante Samuels podcast. But he talked about being Samuel said, who are you as a DB? He constantly kept saying, I'm a man press corner. Like, if Darius Slay has to describe himself, and he can play all different coverages, don't get me wrong, but he talked about how he would always shadow in Detroit. He talked about being a man press coverage. He talked about if the guy's bigger than me, I don't press him as much, but I can do different things because I can rely on my speed. I'm still one of the fastest guys in the NFL. My catch-up speed, this, that, and the third. He talks about that. And sometimes I would love Gannon just to let him be that man press corner that I know he could be. Let him follow, let him shadow, let him do some of the things that he can do, Like, I would love to see him shadow. Now, how would that affect Bradbury and the fact that he would have to, rotate on the opposite side, but he's always following the number 2? But, like, I'm not saying you can never just let a corner man press all the time, but I would love to see that more. Slay just said it on a podcast, bro. That's what he feels about himself.
It's tough, Mike, because they reverted back to some man coverage last season. You remember down the stretch. They reverted back to man coverage. I don't know, man. I don't know. Like I said, it's tough because, like, I know people want certain names in here like Vic Fangio, but that's not going to change the way that we're playing our corners. It's the same thing. We're going to play the corners the same exact way with Fangio. The only difference is instead of having somebody who's duplicating the system, you got the guy who created the system. That's the only difference you're going to get there. Me personally, I've always been more of like a Greg Williams guy. I've wanted Greg Williams in Philadelphia for like numerous years now. It ain't going to happen, but it is what it is, man. Like, we just got to hope that they find a way of shoring up this run game, bro, because you cannot play January football like this. Like, you can't. You've got to get negative plays in the backfield in the run game.
I ain't gonna lie to you. He scares me. He scares the shit out of me.
Yeah.
I mean, he really, really does, man. Like, it's really not really nothing else to say. It's just like, if we can see it, why can't you? And then not only that, when you put these guys in different in these fades or whatever you want to call it, the follow, the shadow, whatever you want to call it, when you letting these guys basically get off of the line of scrimmage and not putting press coverage on them, then the blitz can't get there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you can't you're taking away a guy's superpower, and then you're taking away a blitz because it's not going to be able to get there in time because it's, once again, it's pitch and catch. Now it's not the sticks defense picks and catch, but it's still the same damn thing if you're not putting pressure on these wide receivers. But it's crazy. When you let these guys play one-on-one, you see how successful it is. You see we get turnovers. You see that Darius Slay is literally shutting people down and Bradbury right behind him. Then you revert to this. Why are you trying to get cute? If it's working, don't try to fix it. It's fine. Just let these guys do them. Let CJ Garner roam around and be the ball hawk that he is and lock the shit down. Stop having these guys. I'm not going to say Darius Slay is confused, but sometimes it's just too much. Just man up. Man up.
I'm shocked they don't play more cover 6 because what you got is a mismatched pair of corners. You got Slay, who's more of a man press corner, and you got Bradbury, who's more of an off corner.
Mm-hmm.
You would think that something like a cover 6 would make more sense because if you played it in the true Fangio style, then one of your corners is going to basically have he's going to basically have that man assignment, and the other corner is going to be basically on the offside.
You need a better third safety for that. Okay, like the play cover 6, you need a better third safety.
Nothing's gonna be perfect. You know that, Reese. Nothing's gonna be perfect, man.
Yeah, I got you. I get that, but to me, I don't know, man. Even if you do play in cover 2, whatever the case may be, just make sure that those guys are playing press coverage.
Yeah,
that's the key right there. Bradbury and Slade playing, it doesn't always have to be press. I get it, I understand it, but those guys don't need to be in zones as much as you putting these guys in zones, especially on third downs. Why are you putting these guys in zones on third downs? That's stupid.
Yeah, I mean, it comes to a point where, again, regardless of what Gannon believes, as he's seeing it unfold in front of his eyes, as he hears the questions day in and day out asked by the media, it has to bring his to attention. Like, my thing is, I could think I'm doing something right, but if everybody's telling me or asking me while I'm doing this, I'm going to have to start second guessing my damn self, right? And so, the quarterbacks, the defensive scheme he played early in the season last year, where he was allowing quarterbacks to, throw for 70+% completion percentage, that was asked so much that he eventually adjusted. How did he do that? Gate just spoke on it a little bit ago. We played a little bit more man. Actually, we played a decent amount more man. As if you look at the early part of the schedule to the later part of the schedule of 2021.
What's crazy, Mike? Ironically, Steve Nelson played better in man than he did in his own, to be real.
And it was an adjustment. And so I need the media to keep on it if this continues. But every question is pretty much, how are you going to stop the run? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? So, I mean, he got to look at himself in the mirror. And I think, I said this in my shows all week. You kind of get a pass for allowing the Lions to come back, allowing the Cowboys to come back, having the Texans run all over you, having the Cardinals run all over you with your quarterback, because they were all dubs still. You can't really critique an 8-0 team, right? Well, you can, but, it's nitpicking. Well, now it's not nitpicking. We're not undefeated. We got beat by a division team where the defense was on the field for probably a season high across the league, bro. Yes, our turnovers were bad, but that's also could be just a lack of playing, to say the least, for that offense. And you can't just do what you're doing unless it's working. My biggest thing with Gannon the whole time has been he goes in with a game plan and he takes too long to adjust. Vikings game, his game plan was good. He stayed with it. But when his game plan is bad, he doesn't adjust to the middle of the third quarter at times. He takes too long. And Nick Sirianni spoke on that. So I hope that's a point of emphasis for, have your plan B, C, D ready to execute earlier.
So someone's asking why it's ironic that Steven Nelson played better when we switched over to a man than his own, because Steven Nelson is a short zone corner. And I'm not making fun of his stature and height. He's a short zone corner. He plays better around the line of scrimmage. That's what he is. He lacks the foot speed normally to play down the field, and you always normally have to send safety help to Steve Nelson. Part of the reasons that Gannon gave us he secretly said, he didn't outright call it out, but he was basically implying that he couldn't do a lot of the wrinkles he wanted to do in the defense because he felt like he always had to lend help to Steve Nelson's side. But the fact is that when we went to a man coverage situation, challenged the receivers at the line of scrimmage, none of these teams really had enough time to take advantage of Steve Nelson's lack of speed because the pass rush was on him. So we actually played better. I mean, that's the irony in the situation.
Hey, I do got a question for you. Like I said, I didn't watch the game. How did Josiah Scott play? Was he okay?
He was all right. He got beat. He got beat on one play, but it was a defensive offensive pass interference. It would have been huge on us, but again, it was a pick play. That's kind of why he got beat, but he did decent. But I will say, just having him on the field is, And I've noticed this every time Avonte Maddox don't play, Gannon's defense looks at an all-time soft. He bubble wraps the defense so much more when Avonte Maddox is not playing. Like early in the season, there was a time where he missed a game or two. They were one of the games that I complained the most about him. And now last week, what we asked Avonte Maddox to do on the island, in the slot, doing this, that, and the third. And quite frankly, he's one of our best tacklers in the secondary. He's a little dude. And big play Slay, I'm glad he laid some thunder on a player or two against Washington, because I watched the Volume podcast with Big Play Slay. He's always talking about these running backs better stop coming at me, because he be taking some business decisions. You know what I mean? And it happens every once in a while for the longevity of a season. But our secondary is not the best tackling secondary, and Jonathan Gannon's versatility with Maddox is missed when he's not there. But that's still no excuse. If Maddox ain't there, he ain't there. You still got to adjust and not bubble wrap this defense that much. And like I said, if there was ever a time to see some change, it's now, because you got D tackles. That's a statement for Howie Roseman. Fix that, Jonathan Gannon. And it's also, you got beat 2 weeks with, or you got destroyed with it 2 weeks. One was a win, one was a loss. Fix it.
Yeah, I told you my concern with him, Mike, is that I think he's a really good short zone corner, Josiah Scott. I think he plays very well in that type of system. And I think he's got the ability to play inside, outside if you can use him in that type of system. But I warned you last week, man. Anytime he's got to match and carry, especially man match and carry down the field, it gets a little iffy for me, man. Even though he's a fast guy, sometimes, man, there's some separation that gets created with him in coverage. And, he got away with a couple of them last week. I'm not going to lie. He definitely got away a couple times.
But holding or a couple holds?
No. Like, he got away to where the ball was off target.
Okay.
Like they just missed the throw, to be quite honest. But to say that, he's a backup corner. You know what I mean? Like, I think he's pretty good as a backup corner.
No, because the reason I asked, because they got Josh Drew, Trey Sermon, a couple of other guys that's inactive today, and I mean, y'all know how I feel about Josiah. I just wanted to know if he played well. I do got a question for y'all. Another question for y'all though. I know who my guy is, but I want to hear from y'all. Chat too. Y'all always welcome. Y'all know that. We lost a big part of our offense, man. Last week on a sucker cheap play.
Mm-hmm.
Who's going to fill that hole? Pause, but you get what I'm saying. Who's going to be the guy to have to step up, man? Because we know what Dallas Goedert does, not only with the screens and the yak and all that, but the blocking. I mean, I'm pretty sure Jack Stroll is going to be able to hold his own with the blocking, but you're going to have to mix things up because of what Dallas Goedert is so important to this team. So important to this team. And to me, if you don't find a way, you're going to have to use more than one guy to find a way. To me, for the screens and everything, I need to see some more Kenneth Gainwell. I don't care if it's not 13 personnel, two running backs. What's that? 22. Anyway, you get what I'm saying. Two running back. I don't care what you got to do. I don't care if you got to use Kenneth Gainwell. This guy is a weapon. We have not been using him as much as we really needed to. I guess we didn't really need to, but I think going further until Dallas got to get back, to me, he is the guy to fill in some of it. Now, the blocking, that's a different thing. We're going to have to figure that out, and the offensive line going to have to step up too. But to me, offensive weapon, I think Kenneth Gainwell needs to be used more. What do y'all think?
I think there's no replacing Dallas Goedert inside of the system. Unfortunately, I just don't think we have anyone who comes close to that level of talent in that tight end room. We got guys that have pieces and elements to what they do. I think Jack Stahl's a pretty good blocking tight end. And I think he's got more catching, receiving ability. Yeah. But he's not Dallas Goedert. You know, he's not dynamic. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's not dynamic. You know what I mean? But I definitely think he, a little out route for 5, 6, 7 yards. He could do that kind of stuff. No doubt about it. You could probably hit him on a tight end screen still. He plays with a little physicality to him. I agree with the overall premise that you're saying, Reese, which is that it's going to be by committee, and it's not just in the tight end room. It's going to be at receiver. It's going to be at running back. It's going to be everywhere is how you're going to replace that. I would expect to see a lot more 11-man personnel and maybe potentially 10. I don't know if they'd go that high, but I mean, I would like to see them kind of spread out and do some stuff through the spread formation because you don't have Goddard to help you out blocking. So I think the way you combat that is to spread your opponents out and give Jalen Hurts a clear line of vision to see what's going on.
That makes sense.
None of us are going to be enthusiastic about that because we've seen this before. I get it, but I just don't know what else you do. I know a lot of people are like, Steve, why don't they, you guys have asked me for like freaking weeks. Why in the world do they not build in hot routes? Like, what the heck is going on with our selection of hot routes? I don't have an answer for you, man. That would be something I would need to have like Kevin Patullo, who designs the passing game, and like, Steichen together, be like, yo, what are we doing? Like, why do we make the adjustments we make? Like, is this a preference that Jalen has? Like, is this just your preference from a coaching standpoint? Like, I don't get it either. But I think that I would look at Zach Pascal. I would look at Quez Watkins. I would look at Miles Sanders. I think those guys should get an uptick in the production that they've had, over previous weeks. To me, I think it's crazy that you don't give the ball at least 16 times a game, whether it's through running the ball or just checking the ball down to Miles Sanders. He should be touching the rock 16 times a game.
And that's another thing I didn't like from that Washington game that I want corrected. And this game is set up to be kind of similar. Washington is really good against the run. The Colts, for all their, up and downs in the season, and again, new coach, quarterback's back, the running back is back, and they still got Stephon Gilmore back there. They can stop the run. The Colts are, I think, number 2 in the NFL in stopping the run. So are we going to go away from Miles once again because a team that we're playing is better against the run than the pass? My thing is, when you run the ball as effective as we do, I'm talking Sanders, Scott, Gainwell, Hurts, you never should just go away from it, ever. Like, even if a team is number 1 against the run and number 32 in the pass, you still got to keep that 60-40. Like, in the first half of this of this Washington game, we were back to the 80-20. I thought it was the Dallas game again last year, where I thought Miles Sanders left the building. I didn't even know he was out there. Like, he touched the ball like 3 or 4 times in the first half of that game. You can't do that. So, I'm all for throwing the ball more. I understand that you want to play to the defense weakness, which passing the ball against this Colts team is, but you gotta get the ball to Sanders. And as you said, I still would like to see him involved in the pass game. I do think he's a better receiving target than it's led to be. We saw his rookie year. Yes, he had a couple down receiving years.
It's crazy, right? Like, what he was his rookie year. It is crazy that, like, where is that magic, man? It can't have just completely dissipated.
He was catching 40-yard bombs. He was hitting him he was running receiver routes.
Exactly. Reese, you're the former running back. I mean, what do you think happened?
Why they disrespecting him like that, Reese?
I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it neither. Maybe I don't know. Maybe they see something that we don't see in practice. That's the only thing that maybe he's not catching them in practice, so they're not throwing it to him. Maybe the scheme is not that for him. But I do like it. You're gonna have to run some will routes that we really never see from this team. It's always screens. It's not really will routes, but a will route can definitely get you a touchdown.
Oh, yeah.
Like here and there, like no lies.
On a linebacker?
Yeah, especially with the speed and agility that Miles Sanders has. I don't know, man. I don't know. But those two tandems of Miles and Gainwell should be scary it should be scary in the passing game, and it's really not. But maybe they got a chance now to do it because the passing game was really focused on Dallas Goedert, AJ, and Devontae Smith. Now with Dallas Goedert gone, you got to fill that hole. Pause again, but you get what I'm saying. but you get what I'm saying. You're going to have to fill that void, and those two right there, I didn't even think of Miles. I'm glad that y'all brought him up. Not gonna lie, to me, I just been thinking
that was Gates' player of the game, Miles, and We didn't use him at all.
Man,
I didn't understand
I was
that.
so mad. Like we had like what 4
carries?
catches in the first half.
Wait,
Like,
what did he get? 4 carries, 5 carries,
Yeah,
all
it
through the
was
whole game?
ridiculous.
It was
It
rough.
reminded me. It reminded me of the what was that, Dallas, when Miles only had 2 carries?
That's what I see.
The whole game. Like, man,
when AJ almost secured that catch, and I thought we were going up 21-10, I was like, "Oh, my prediction's about to come true." And then they took the ball away, and I was like, "Man, I'm dead in the water."
Yeah, I don't eat, but for real, even last game, the game before that, they got kind of pass happy to me. They came out pass. Now we won the game, so it really wasn't too much complaining about it. But I didn't like it. Like the first 5 plays was passes.
Yeah,
I'm like, I understand you're trying to. I don't understand if you're trying to have Hurts be the next MVP or whatever the case may be. It's about winning. It's about a strategy to win. And this offensive line loves to beat up on people. Let them do their job. They love to beat up on people. Kelsey is one of the best, if not the best center at getting to the second. Matter of fact, he is the best. I don't know no center that gets up to the second level like this kid does, and nobody can stop him. Nobody.
Yeah.
Use your guys to the best ability. And to me, that has not really been happening. Now, we're going to we gloss over a lot of things where we're winning. But once you lose, those things start coming to light. So now everything is coming to light. And the things that we did want to talk about, but it just seemed like you're a party pooper because you talk about the bad things. Or now we get to talk about them. And then
Jonathan Gannon.
Hey, listen, I talk about him no matter what, man. Like if you are a real football guy, you understand he need to be talked about. But yeah, man. So when you look at it, I did that combination I like Miles Sanders and Gainwell. Like I said, you 2 running backs. Damn, y'all. What is that called? 22 personnel, right? When it's 2 running backs.
Pony.
Any 21, 22, 20, they're all 2 backs.
Yeah, pony.
I like it. Yeah.
It is pony. Yeah.
I wonder why they don't do more pistol formations. Just because
I
honestly,
love the
with
pistol. I like the pistol.
I mean, with the athleticism we have with Jalen Hurts, and then with guys like Kenneth Gainwell, Miles Sanders, like it's difficult to defend that, man. When you don't know the direction the back's going in, that's difficult to defend.
And my thing is, and I do like what they do with the quarterback sneaks. Dallas Goedert isn't here anymore, so Dallas Goedert literally dragged Jalen Hurts in for one of those touchdowns one game. I can't remember what game it was, but I do like how they push Jalen Hurts with how strong his legs are. But I would like to see some power eye too. Let's we got the horses up front to just play smash mouth football. We really do, and just blow you out the water. You're not getting the ball. We're going to protect the ball, and we're going to run up and down this field, and we're going to run straight at you. We have the personnel to do that. We can win at so many different styles, and we really have been doing that. But I do want to see some playoff football out of this team. Hopefully this week. You won at almost every other level. I really want to see just Miles get some work. Boston Scott get some work. Kenneth Gainwell, y'all just ride these guys for this win. You know what I mean? They say Leonard is on IR. That's their best defender. Go at these dudes, man.
Can we bring up contract on one player? Because I see his name mentioned in the comment section, and I think if you don't get the deal done before the end of the season, we're screwed.
CJ, get him done.
If you don't get this deal done before the end of the season, there's no way we're going to be able to retain him.
He's putting the league on notice. He putting the league on notice. I was on a bad team. Now I'm on a good one. But can I say this? And this is not hating, but to me, he has been, and shout out to him for being there, a guy that has been in the right spots. Almost all of his interceptions have been tipped. I think all but one. So he has been, and like I said, shout out to him.
He's got a good feel for where to be.
Exactly. He got a good feel. Hey, little Mike.
He said, hey, little Mike.
Yeah, That's long hair don't care. My man looked like Tarzan. I mean, my wife wants to get a cut, but I don't want to cut his hair just because I ain't never seen a 3-year, like his hair is long, like middle of the back long.
Yeah.
He snuck upstairs. That's why I called my wife. I'm like, you gotta come get him.
You had to call the reinforcements.
Yeah. All right, go ahead.
But, we see where he might be getting his predictions from now.
Damn, what was I just saying, man?
We were talking about Gardner Johnson and we got distracted.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't know how y'all feel about it, but I do feel as though all his interceptions have been tipped. But shout out to him, he has been there. He's been a product of being in the right spot at the right time. But what does he have? 5 or 6 now? 6 interceptions? He had one last week, right?
5.
Was he? I thought he had 6.
He had one last week, right? Didn't he have one last week?
That's number 5.
He had one last week.
No, he was number 5. Remember, he was leading the league with number 5.
Oh, it is 6 then. It is 6.
Yeah, he's at 6. Yeah.
So he put the league on notice. Yeah, you got to get that deal done. To me, I would sign him and Bradbury. I think you got to keep the secondary together, man.
I mean, it's going to be interesting what they do in the draft, to be honest, because we can't sign everybody back. I mean, it's going to be impossible. No. So, I mean, I would think that they're going to rebuild on the D-line.
Those two.
Yeah. I would think they're going to rebuild on the D-line, but it is hard to ignore the fact that you got older corners, too. So it's kind of like, man, it's tough to predict because we don't even know who's in the draft yet completely. We know the seniors and the upperclassmen, but we don't know what juniors are going to declare anything like that yet. But it's tough, man, because like I definitely see some parts where we're going to have to rebuild through the draft here. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, man.
And wait, real quick though, how he's a guy that understands like that you got to get the contracts done early. Like he's that's one of his things is he gets the contracts done before. Like, look, we got Dallas Goedert last year when he did, he had an okay year. Now he was playing as one of the best tight ends in the game, and so by we're week 11 now. I would have thought that Howie you would have heard breaking news. Howie gets this deal done already. But to allow him to get 6 interceptions and then just
November is the deal month.
But here's the thing: it's so many deals that he's looking at right now. We got to remember, Jalen Hurts doesn't have a 5th-year option. He wasn't a first-round pick like most quarterbacks are.
Yeah.
So his last year is next year. Miles Sanders, you got that contract that you're looking at. You know what I mean? He got a lot on his. This is going to be an off season for the ones and not just signing people, but seeing who to sign back. You know what I mean? And maybe he is looking at it like, let's see what we can get in the draft first.
Yeah.
Like you said.
There's definitely some hype, man. There's some hype around a few players I'm hearing, and not the obvious, but, like Miles Murphy's getting some hype. Jalen Carter from Georgia's getting some hype. I'm like, all right, like this is going to be an interesting draft, honestly, to see what the Eagles do because we got 4 picks currently in the first 3 rounds. So I'm curious to see what they do if that turns out to be a top 5 pick in the end.
Saints keep losing too, like you just said. Top 5 pick looks to be more.
Can you imagine that turns into the number 1, number 2, or number 3 overall pick. Man,
now
I don't know. I don't know. Houston stinks.
Hey man, they about to become my second favorite team.
Houston stinks.
Come on, Houston.
Number 1 or number 2. Who else? Who at number 2? Is the Lions at number 2?
Not the Lions won last night.
Yeah, the Lions. Yeah, the Lions won.
Oh,
Lions won. I think Pittsburgh won. There's a couple of teams that won and kind of pushed it. But I mean, the Saints are basically sitting everybody this week.
On, man. Yeah. Who the Lions? The Lions. Yeah, definitely got to root them one day. Lions got the Giants today, right?
Mm-hmm.
Got to get that done.
Yeah.
Let me see real quick.
Need that.
Yo, let me ask y'all this. I know this ain't Eagles talk or Colts talk, but we got the Vikings and Cowboys playing at 4:00. I'm going to watch that game. I don't care. People say, why do like Cowboy fans talking about we don't watch Eagle games. I watch Cowboy games. I watch my division if they're playing at a time that the Eagles ain't. Vikings lose. Well, now we're a game and a half back in the lead for the number 1 seed. Cowboys lose. We're further away from them. Plus, we just hate the Cowboys. But with 8 games being left, 8 or 9 games being left, that half a game ahead, it's not really. I need more of a cushion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still never want to root for the Cowboys though, ever.
Yeah, that's a tough one, man. I don't know who to root for that in that game, bro. I got like no rooting interest in that game.
I know who I'm rooting for. Listen, it's our division, so you got to worry about the division first. Always got to worry about the division first, and then I get it. They right there on the hills, but that's our job to keep winning.
Yeah,
it's in our hands. We don't have to wait for anybody to lose. It's in our hands. You know what I mean? So to me, you take care of business. And you let the Vikings beat Dallas. You know what I mean?
I really wish they had pushed this game to primetime, so primetime Kirk could have beaten them. Because boy,
I would have loved it.
That'd have been bad.
Yeah. I mean, if this the game of the week, that's kind of considered primetime. Nah.
They're gonna try to weasel their way out of that.
They're not spinning it that way.
The
Eagles only beat the Vikings because it was prime time. Shut up! I hate. Ridiculous.
Yo, that is crazy though. Like when you look at it, we got one loss, right? And the only team that on our side that has one, the only team in the NFL that only has one loss is the Vikings. And guess who gave them that L, man? That gotta feel good as an organization. It's like we really running this shit right now. Like there ain't really nothing that nobody can do with it. Yes, we took a loss, but to me that it took so much for them to win by what was it, 6 points? No. How did they score at the end? Because
we did that little play where you throw it somebody 10 yards and you start to like do the pitching back and stuff, and then they try to pitch it back to Jalen and it hit the ground and they ran it in, and then he started grittying.
Okay. Yeah,
our man hit the gritty. He hit the gritty on that touchdown with 0 seconds left. Like we weren't even playing, bro. Stop playing with us.
So, Kristen, the one that concerns me about OBJ, it's not really Dallas, man. The Giants are a tough team. They're fighting tough. You get someone like OBJ that can come in and actually play outside as a receiver, man, that team starts to look a little differently. The only saving grace we got is Daniel Jones is still trying to throw him the ball.
If you get after him, it don't matter. It don't matter who's on the outside. You gotta send the dogs to Daniel Jones, man. You got to.
But we coming up on that hour. Listen, wherever you're watching it, hit that like button. We are live on 3 different channels: Philly Talk Podcast, Gate City Sports Channel, and Philly Fresh's channel. We drop Eagles content all through the week, interviews, all that stuff we do. With that being said, long form, short form, it is what it is. This is the new YouTube, man. But with that being said, let's get into a little, score prediction / our standout players on offense and defense. You want to go first, Gate?
Yeah, I'll go first. All right. I'm gonna try to weasel out a score prediction. So let's see. Number 1. All right, offensive player of the game. I think Quez is going to have that bounce back game. I haven't picked Quez Watkins at all this year. There hasn't been a lot of reason to pick him this year. But you know what? I mean, with Dallas Goedert's production being weaned back, I think if you're the coaching staff, man, I mean, look, Quez made a reckless play, man. The ball got away from his body. It got away from him. It cost us. I thought that if we don't fumble the ball there, I honestly felt like we were going to come back and win that game. That's the way the game flow felt. But it happened. You know what I mean? I feel like if you can get him involved, you get him involved. And I feel like he's a guy that can punish a defense. If you lose track of Quez, that is a lot of speed out there. So I'm going to say Quez is my surprise guy on offense. Defense. All right. I got to try to hit a home run here, man. This is not a popular pick. I know it's not. And I'm waiting to hear the comment section because I know they're going to go crazy when I say this. Fletcher Cox. Fletcher Cox is going to be my defensive player. That's going to be my pick. I feel like, hey, man, he did not give us what we needed last week in terms of playing and dominating that defensive line. Now you got Sue right behind you. You're going to get rest. You're going to get quality. You're going to get a guy you can get quality reps behind you, by the way. Need Fletch to be Fletch. You're a 6-time Pro Bowler. Remind other teams about that. Remind our opponents that you were a 6-time Pro Bowler. Come on.
Hey,
Score prediction.
Damn it.
he always pauses after
Hey,
that.
Mike, you
No,
was
I
about
was
to
getting away with it too, because Mike forgot.
I was waiting. In my head, I kept saying score, but he's not going to get away from this one.
Score prediction. Look, man, I know the Colts are going to try to run at us. And I know there's a chance that this turns into where we're not effective and we're done because we can't stop the run. But I got faith that the run is mostly about effort. It's about getting in there and actually pushing dudes around it. And you got to put forth effort to do that. I think we're going to see that effort tonight or this afternoon. I'm going to say Philadelphia 34, Indianapolis 13.
34-13.
All right. You want to go, Mike?
Nah, I'll go last.
All right. Offensive player. I already talked about him. I think he should be implemented into the game plan with the loss of Dallas Goedert. I'm gonna go with Kenneth Gainwell. And I'm not saying that he's going to be the best offensive player on the field. I'm saying he's going to finally have an impact. They're going to use him more. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna go with Gainwell. Defensive player. It's not his fault, but he definitely needs a bounce back game because every time I turn on the highlights, it just seemed like he was getting scored on or McLaren was doing what he wanted. But it wasn't his fault. I'm going to go with Darius Slay, man. I think he comes up big. I think most likely he's going to be on a Michael Pittman, who is a slower receiver than a McLaurin. So I got him coming up with a big pick. And not shutting Pittman down, but they might actually put him on Campbell. I think Campbell's the faster guy, so they might put him on Campbell. And Kirsten, Tyree Jackson, I think he's still hurt.
He's off the pup list. He's on the roster, active roster now.
He's on the active roster? Oh shoot.
6'8", 6'7". Yeah, he's a big dude.
I like it. Yo, y'all know how I felt about him last year. I like that dude a lot, man. But anyway, score prediction. I definitely think that this offense is mad about a lot of things, and that's not holding the football. And I think that the Colts are in trouble. So I think we put up 38. Colts put up 14.
Okay.
38-14. I like that score. Offensive player, I'm going to go with somebody that I talked about throughout this week. I was up, and that's A.J. Brown. It was mainly due to his ankle that he had a bad game, but man, 1 catch for 7 yards is not what we need from our go-to wide receiver. So I think he bounces back with close to 100 yards or right around 100. I think he gets a tub today.
And he cooked the Colts last year too.
Yeah, he did cook the Colts. I really wanted to say Miles because I want them to run the ball, but I need to get the bounce back game from I just lose his name real quick. AJ Brown. I keep wanting to say Alshon Jeffrey. I've been saying that on my videos on accident for some reason when I think of it, but it's retarded. But AJ Brown bounce back game
like that.
Yeah, I can't disrespect him like that. AJ Brown bounce back game on defense, right? Y'all had some good ones. You picked Slay, you picked Fletch. Both these guys got to show up for different reasons. I'm going to go with the linebacking core, and I'm going to say TJ Edwards. I think that when you talk about stopping the run, we talked about our secondary getting beat for tackles. We talked about the D-line getting pushed off. Them linebackers got to start stepping up in the run defense too. And, TJ Edwards, before he's been, pretty decent in coverage this year, he's been our run-stopping linebacker. And through these 2 weeks, gap discipline has not been the linebacker's strength. Gannon has been keeping less linebackers on the field, but I don't. That's neither here or there for TJ Edwards. I need to see him head down, get at the running backs himself, hit the right gaps, and play sound football. I think not only does the D-line got to be better, but the linebacker got to be better stopping the run. So I'm going TJ Edwards. And I got the Eagles dropping a 30 burger. I can't go as high as 38. I'm going to say 33 for the Eagles to 17. and I won't have no type of Quez Watkins reaction because that broke my heart, man. I wanted to start celebrating, and as soon as I started fist pumping,
Man, yeah. I thought I was gonna break my TV, Mike. I'm not gonna lie.
that's the parts that being live for is hard because I know I'm live, but at that one particular second, I don't remember. And
I don't remember.
I don't realize I'm live, and I try to keep it on a composure, and that's why after I did the whole he really fumbled, all I could do was just sit there quiet a little bit. But
bro, everyone's trying to tell me like, oh, it might not be a fumble. It might not be a fumble. Like, man, did you not see that? That was a fumble.
I was hurt,
and nobody touched him. That's the crazy part. That like he picked it up. I don't know when he picked it up.
The dude gave him a hug. All he did is give him a hug. It was like it wasn't a strip tackle. It was just a hug, and he just dropped it.
You know where that come from, though, too? In my opinion, opportunities. He don't get opportunities like that, so he was hyped. You know what I mean? Like this something that you do all the time. You just you subtle with it. He was got a little bit out of his comfort zone, man. It's no excuses, but he do need more opportunities. Just like I seen in the chat. Shout out to whoever that was. Miles Sanders too, man. Like he said this at the beginning of the year. Opportunity asked him. That was your guy, right, Mike? John Clark asked him.
Yeah.
Like, I need opportunities, and we seen when he gets those.
Wait! I had that in my video. I had a player interview in my video. I did that before in the offseason.
Here we go.
I mean, thank you for bringing that video up too. You know what I mean?
You already know. I always got your back like Cairo Pratt. No, but in all seriousness, man, like this guy should like he was on pace for what 1,200 yards was it a couple games ago, and it's like the last couple games, man, in both games he has not cracked combined 100 yards.
Eagles told him down there like, listen, we can't. Dang, he's about to break 1,000 yards. We're not gonna be able to sign him next year. Let's
remember like in the game before that he had 95. They took him out. He couldn't get over. It's like, are y'all messing with this guy for the like? I don't understand what's going on with that. Like, just let the kid ball, man. The kid can ball. He can ball. Let him ball, man. I think like I said at the beginning of this game, this need to be one of those games you just dominate the run. You run all over these. I don't care if first of all it's going to be cold as heck in Indy. I don't care how.
It's a dome. It's a dome, though, right?
Is it a dome?
Yeah, they play in a dome. I was gonna make a video about this, but I was like, you know what? Let's not. Jeff Saturday's trying to instill culture there. I understand that, but listen to this. So he wanted to toughen his players up. So he made the Colts practice outside in 35, 33-degree weather to get them tougher to play the Eagles, but they're playing us in the dome. So his reason was not because we're trying to get you. Like, I understand if they were coming to Philly and they're trying to get used to the cold, blah, blah, blah. But he just did it to toughen them up. But it's like, bro, you're having your guys practice outside when you're going to be playing the game in the dome. Like,
person said they opened the dome.
I just seen the picture.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Right.
She said they opened it.
Then I give it to him. They try to get used to that cold weather. I ain't mad at it.
So what are they opening it for? I don't understand. What are they opening it for?
I guess they want the weather elements. I don't know. I can't say, Reese. I don't know.
That don't favor them.
Yeah. I know it doesn't. But
that's stupid.
Yeah, I love that the Eagles are a cold weather team. I don't believe in domes. I think you should be playing with the elements. You know what I mean?
And after you read the super chat, I do want to talk about something. Somebody brought it up in the chat, and I do want to discuss this.
All right, real quick, War with the $5 super chat. We greatly appreciate the support. He said, Gilmore having a great year. He will follow AJ. I'm looking for Miles to get involved a lot. And also Reddick having a big game. Yeah, we haven't called Reddick's name too. I'll co-sign this. If Sanders and Reddick have big games, I think that is, when Reddick has big games, Eagles look successful. That means the pass rush is working. When Miles has big games, it's mainly because the Eagles are up and now we're just doing what we do. I love how we ran the ball in the second half of that Pittsburgh game. Miles ripped off a couple big ones. So, War, if the recipe you just said, that's a successful one. And I do believe Gilmore will shadow AJ. It's gonna be a nice little matchup we get to watch for 4 quarters.
Yeah, Gilmore fell off a little bit to me, so I don't know how that's gonna go with him, especially with the scheming of Jonathan Gann, sorry, with the scheming of Nick Sirianni and the crew. I do got a question though, and to me, because of how horrible the third stage of our team has been, the special teams, like, would you look at a guy in Darren Sproles? I mean, people laugh.
How old is Sproles?
Huh?
How old is Sproles now?
Probably like close to
38, 38, 39. I'm just talking about just
I'll do it.
He's our age, Reese.
Huh?
He's our age.
Yeah.
That's for punt returns?
He can't be worse than Covey. Whatever the heck.
True. That's true. I get it. I get it. But my point is how long will we have him?
I just need to return punts. That's all I need from you. I don't need you to do nothing. And it's crazy that you got to put a roster spot up just for that. But Covey, that's all Covey does, and he doesn't do it. He is horrible, like literally horrible.
Yeah, I agree that Covey didn't have the shake that we thought.
39. He's 39. He's 39.
But I will say this, guys. Even if we add Sproles, who at 30, 38, 39, it's like our age, Reese. Man, they're not blocking for these dudes either. I'm not too sure that's the right move either.
Yeah, he did, and he had like 3 injuries on that one hit in 2017. He broke his wrist. He fractured like a neck bone or something.
Yeah,
he tore his ACL on one hit. So that's a cause for pause. I'm just tired of seeing this dude out there.
He looks like he gets hit by a Mac joke. Every time he gets tackled, I cringe. I feel sorry for the guy, and I'm praying there's not a fumble because listen, tackles look tough in the NFL, no doubt about it. But when he gets hit, it looks like a crime, bro. I can't believe he hold on to that ball though, right? He do hold on to that ball.
I'm trying to think of older special teams players. How old was Brian Mitchell when he played for us?
When he left us, or
when he played for us in the early 2000s.
He was in his 30s, but it was the early 30s.
Early 30s. All right. Yeah, I'm trying to think if we've ever had anyone over like 35 back there handling that type of responsibility.
Yeah,
I know Vi Sekahema wasn't Vi with the Giants before he was with the Eagles. He was with another team. Maybe it was Cardinals. I can't remember.
But listen to this real quick. So Eric Weddle is 37 years old, and remember, he came to the Rams during the playoffs. And so look, when Kay Adams was talking to Darren Sproles, he said it. Hey, look, what I got left in the tank is return some punts or maybe a playoff push. And listen, 37-year-old safety Eric Weddle, who got to tackle people, he got to run in coverage, was able to do that for the Rams playoff run and Super Bowl. We can't have Sproles, who's 2 years older, just return punts. Like, I understand.
Yeah, that 2 years mean a lot, though, when you're 30. Hey, Mike, you don't get it. You hear me? Just 2 years ago, I could dunk. I can't dunk no more, Mike.
Lord. Listen, I hear you, but look, playing safety at 37 for a couple games when you ain't practiced for a while, that got to be tougher to say the least. But look, at the end of my video, because I did a video on that not yesterday, the day before. I said I was kind of joking around, but I was a big Sproles fan.
Short, was it?
No.
We good then. We good.
Yeah. Well, no, that was my main goal, is to get the interviews in my pocket. Anyways, I loved Mighty Mouse throughout his career. Like I loved him on the Chargers. I loved his game on the Saints, and I was glad when the Eagles got him. But I think it would be more of a fan thing. But just move Covey. Like I want to see Quez. I would like to see Quez. I would like to see Boston Scott. I would like to see just somebody else than Devin. You got a speedster in Devin Allen back there who got a little bit more meat on the bone. Like I don't know, man. Now watch. Oh, pause. Yeah. With that being said, shout out to Young Truth 512 with the $2 super chat. Covey gets hit like NFL blitz.
Yo, no lie. It's like Covey got a magnet to defenders. Like, I'll be looking, I'm like, why are you running that way? You clearly got a lane over to the left. He runs straight to defenders, man. It's like, I'm like, this dude, man. They gotta find somebody. I know I said drive the game and scares me, but our special team scares me too, man. Not gonna lie to you.
Hey, Kevin, I get that Tom Brady is still balling at above 40 years old, but I ain't never saw Tom Brady try to take a punt return. I'm just going to call it spade a spade. That's two different things, my guy.
See what happened when he tried to catch the ball two weeks ago.
Those are very different things. Yeah.
Yo, you saw him retweet that though. So he Brady quote tweeted that and said, "Y'all lucky I slipped, or I would have mossed him for 6." So I love his energy. Yeah. He quote tweeted because Barstool, one of the Barstool sports channels on Twitter, posted it. It got a lot of views, and Brady was like, "Y'all lucky I slipped, I would have mossed him."
He out there old as shit, drunk.
Right, crazy man.
I love it. But look, we are live on 3 channels. We got 400 plus watching on 3 channels. Again, wherever you are, hit that like button, subscribe, check out all the people on the panel. Gate City Sports Channel, Philly Talk Podcast, and Philly Fresh's channel. Again, the like button goes a long way. We've been live for an hour and 15 minutes. The game will be on in about 30 minutes. We all got to do our little routine rituals before the game. I will be live doing the play-by-plays. If you want to come through and chop it up, that's to each its own. But before we get out of y'all got anything else before we get about?
I saw someone look, this is a controversial topic. I know it's probably not the best one to try to go off on, but they're talking about Jalen Reagor being better than Covey. I haven't really tracked Reagor in Minnesota. I don't know how he's doing there in terms of punt returns, but I don't think that was the problem. I think the optics of a first-round pick being relegated to your 5th wide receiver and your punt returner was the issue. Not necessarily if he would be better than Covey at it or not.
And even still, with Covey, it looks like a crime when he gets tackled, and we don't get no many yards. But with with Reagor, we go backwards or we fumble. So I don't know.
Hey, real fast, everybody. And we can still see this after we get off. Everybody, check in, let us know where you at, where you from, and we all know we repping the Birds, but everybody's from from different parts. Let us know that, and I will be going live at halftime. We're gonna talk about. I'm predicting a 14-0 halftime lead. We're gonna talk about that, and stay Philly, stay fresh, y'all.
Okay. Hey, I'm awake. Just to be clear, bro. We all want Covey to break a punt return. We're not rooting against him. But, I mean, come on, man. Our own security staff didn't buy that he was a football player. They wouldn't let him in the gates.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Well, look, you know what? And it's funny, all this talk. Watch him return on this game. That will be just hilarious.
I would love it.
I would love it. Dave Kirk with the $2 super chat. Yeah. That's pretty. I'll take it. Dave Kirk, we appreciate the super chat before we get off. Reddick and Sue and Smitty and Miles, 2 defensive guys and offensive guys he's predicting going to go off. Hopefully Sue is up for the task being a new addition this late. 34-17. We love it. Until next time, like, comment, share, watch interviews. We out.